Sign, sign in the chat. What's going on here? Why it's telling me to sign in the chat? I should already be signed in. What's going on? Chat. Alright. What is this? Alright. Hold tight. Give me a second. Give me a second, y'all. Give me a second. My apologies. Gotta see what's going on with this. Alright. Mic is working. Excuse me. Alright. 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 I had to check. I had to check to make sure my joint was working. I'm like, hold up, bro. I ain't never seen that happen. Why would that pop up? All right. So I guess it was just this some new stuff. Okay, this is just a way for me to engage on the computer. All right, but it's I should be able to do this on Streamlabs. I don't know why it's not. I don't know why it's not giving me that option. They done made it. They done made it a whole different. They done made me have to sign in to chat through Streamlabs. That's weird. Oh well, that's neither here dang, that's neither here nor there. I can still chat with y'all through my phone if I need to, so I ain't tripping on that. It just threw me off just now, cause I'm like, why is it doing that? All right, as we get started. All right, so I was talking to my brother B yesterday, and I'm gonna be covering a couple of these. We was talking about like how prominent certain people was in the book, and how important they was in the book, and I was talking about Elijah at first. Not Elijah. We was talking about Job, and we just started talking like mentioning like different people in the book that was like important figures and stuff like that. And I was like, man, you're giving me a topic now that I can talk about. Cause I remember on the last after I got done John, I was like, I'm gonna do another live, but I don't know what I'm gonna do do the live about. You know what I'm saying? But I found some topics that I'm gonna go ahead and do. And my thing is, now we're gonna start like finding we're gonna start covering like certain people out of the book. So my first one that we're gonna cover, well, my first one actually was John. We covered the book of John and stuff. But my the second person I'm gonna go ahead and cover is gonna be Elijah, and then the person after that is gonna be Elisha. Now, I spoke on Elisha before, and that's what made me want to do his, is because I spoke on him before, and I mentioned about the tomb of Elisha. We're gonna cover that whole story of Elisha, and how it became a tomb of for Elisha. But in order to get there, we had to go through Elijah first, and we're gonna go through Elijah, which is an awesome story. My uncle preached on Elijah twice so far. Yeah, yeah. He preached on him twice so far, and the two times I heard him preach about Elijah, it was like, okay, he's somebody of importance enough for me to go ahead and cover. You know, everybody in there, but I'm not gonna do everybody. I'm gonna do certain people. And Elijah is one of them people that I feel as though we need to talk about, or we need to read his book and understand who he is. So I normally would be doing Bible study recap, but shouts out to my new 10-year-old. My daughter's birthday was yesterday, and we had went to dinner, and it just so happened that Bible study had got uh put on hold for that, got rescheduled till next week. So it was a good time for me to spend with the child, and you know have dinner and stuff like that. So we didn't have Bible study this Tuesday. It's gonna be next Tuesday, and I was like, man, I can't keep the people waiting. No, I can't keep the people waiting until next week. So let me go ahead and at least give them something. I like, let me go ahead and give them something, and just bear with me. I'm trying to check my audio levels. Y'all, let me check my audio levels real quick, just to make sure my audio levels is good. Okay. All right, so the audio hit. We firing on all cylinders right now, so that's good. My mama must be asleep. My mama must be asleep. I don't know if she sleep or not, but I'm gonna go ahead and send this. I'm gonna go ahead and send this to her so she can't get mad at me and say I didn't send it to her. Um let's also send this to B as well. Be the reason why I'm doing this live. And then we gonna go ahead and send this to my brother Theo. Send this to Theo. I just got the phone with Theo. Shouts out to him. I just got the phone. I just got the phone with Theo. That's my guy. Um. Oh, Zay. And I gotta call Zay. I don't. Zay been Zay been there for a minute. I gotta call him and check on him, make sure everything is going good with him. It's been a minute since we had time to actually talk. But let's go ahead and grab this book. Let's grab this good book. Let's start to read. All right. All right. So before we start, before we start. Okay. All right. Let's go ahead and start this. So the book of Elijah doesn't start in the beginning of First Kings. It actually starts his story starts in chapter 17 of First Kings. That's when Elijah's introduced. Um so we're going to First Kings chapter 17, and we're going to start at verse 1 to uh it ends it ends in Second Kings. So we're not going to read of course we're not going to read all of this tonight, but we're going to go ahead and start I'm thinking maybe. I'm thinking maybe 17 and 18 for today because the book is not that long, and I wanna give y'all you know some content. So we're gonna do 17 and 18 today, and then we'll pick up tomorrow 19 to 20 19 and 20, and then after that we'll do 21, 22, 21, 22. That'll be the end of First Kings, and then we'll be getting into Second Kings. Um. All right. Now. All right. So it starts. It starts. And Elijah the Tishbite of the inhabitants of Gal Gal Galilee Galilee. I just heard that word. Galea. How do you pronounce this? I just listened to it too. Gilead. Gilead. Alright. Inhabitants of Gilead said to Ahab, as the Lord God of Israel lives, before whom I stand, there shall not be dew nor rain these years, except at my word. Then the word of the Lord came to him, saying, get away from here and turn eastward and hide by the brook Cherith, which flows into Jordan. And it will be that you shall drink from the brook, and I have commanded the ravens to feed you there. So he went and did according to the word of the Lord. For he went and stayed by the brook Cherith, which flows into the Jordan. The ravens brought him bread and meat in the morning, and bread and meat in the evening, and he drank from the brook. And it happened after a while that the brook dried up, because there had been no rain in the land. Then the word of the Lord came to him, saying, arise, go to Zarephath, which belongs to Sidon, and dwell there. See, I have commanded a widow there to provide for you. Shouts out to Theo. It's all good. It's all good, Theo. Provide for you. So he arose and went to Zarephath. And when he came to the gate of the city, indeed a widow was there gathering sticks. And he called to her and said, please bring me a little cup, a little water in a cup, that I may drink. And as she was going to get it, he called her and said, uh, please bring me a morsel of bread in your hand. So she said, as the Lord your God lives, I do not have bread, only a handful of flour in a bin, and a little oil in a jar. And see, I am gathering a couple of sticks that I may go in and prepare it for myself and my son, that we may eat it and die. And Elijah said to her, do not fear, go and do as I have said, but make me a small cake from it first, and bring it to me. And after some make some for yourself and your son. For thus the Lord God of Israel, the bin of flour shall not be used up, nor shall the jar of oil run dry, until the day the Lord sends rain on the earth. So she went away and did according to the word of Elijah. And she and he and her household ate for many days. The bin of flour was not used up, nor did the jar of oil run dry, according to the word of the Lord which he spoke by Elijah. Now it happened after these things that the son of the woman who owned the house became sick, and his sickness was very serious, that there was no breath left in him. So she said to Elijah, what have I to do with you, O man of God? Have have you come to me to bring my sin of remembrance and to kill my son? And he said to her, give me your son. So he took him out of her arms and carried him into the upper room where he was staying, and laid him on his own bed. Then he cried out to the Lord and said, O Lord my God, have you also brought tragedy on the widow with whom I lodged by killing her son? And he scratched himself. Oh, scratch. Oh snap! Dang, my fault. I, I was just reading. I was just reading away. My fault. No, this book is wild already. My fault. I was supposed to be keeping y'all up with where I'm at. My fault. So boom. So we in I apologize, bruh. I was gone. We in 21. We in verse 21. My fault. I apologize. I was supposed to be scrolling. I was supposed to be scrolling it down so y'all can read along with me. My apologies. Oh man. Alright, my bad. So he stretched himself out on the child 3 times and cried out to the Lord and said, O Lord, my God, I pray, let this child's soul come back to him. Then the Lord heard the voice of Elijah, and the soul of the child came back to him, and he revived. And Elijah took the child and brought him down from the upper room into the house and gave him to his mother. And Elijah said, see, your son lives. Then the woman said to Elijah, now by this I know that you are a man of God, and that the word of the Lord in your mouth is the truth. So, so boom. So, first things first, right? First things first. as we read this chapter 17, right? We're seeing, excuse me, we're seeing two miracles happen in this first chapter. We're seeing the miracle with the food for the lady, and we're seeing the miracle of the son being brought back, right? So the first thing I wanna tap in on before we read the second chapter. First thing I wanna tap in on is that is that notice how Elijah is being used by the Lord. Okay? Notice how Elijah is being used, and his faith in the Lord is 100%. And he knows that the Lord is in him. He knows that the Lord is moving him as a piece on the chessboard. The Lord is guiding him. He he believes that the Lord is placing him in these positions for a reason. His faith with the Lord is 100%. We have to be like that as we work and go down this journey and stuff like that. We don't know what it is we're gonna be facing in life, but the point is to have that faith that the Lord is pushing us these ways for a reason. The Lord is using us, how brother Ann says, um using us as he sees fit. You know, he is he's using us in a way that we will never understand why we're chosen to do the things that we do, why we're chosen to go these directions and stuff. We just have to have that faith that he's pushing us in the right way. And when we look at this verse, this chapter 17, right? I want to shine light on something. Notice when let's go back up real quick. Notice when all right, notice right here in verse 1, it says, "And Elijah the Tishbite of the inhabitants of Gilead said to Ahab, As the Lord of Israel's lives, as the Lord God of Israel lives, before whom I stand, there shall not be dew nor rain these years, except at my word." So he's giving them a warning. He's letting them know that look, it's gonna be a drought, and the Lord has sent me here to let y'all know that, hey, it's gonna be a drought. As I saying this is not me just making this up. This is the Lord telling me that, look, this is gonna happen. And then when you go down to verse 2, then the word of the Lord came to him, saying, "Get away from here and turn eastward, and hide by the brook Cherith, which flows into Jordan." So he does exactly what the Lord tells him to. He doesn't question the Lord. Doesn't say, well, why is it going to be a drought here? He just goes and does it, which shows his faith that he knows the Lord is moving. As we go down, it tells us that, you know, he will be fed there. He will send ravens there to feed him, which the Lord does. So when we get these messages from the Lord to do what the Lord does, He has a plan for us. He's not gonna leave us nor forsake us, and He's not gonna just leave us out to dry. He's gonna actually provide for us, and that's part of having that faith in the Lord, that He will be there, and he won't let us just perish away and wilt away and nothing like that. That we will have it in abundance. He promised, and he promises that to us. Um. Okay. So then, after he fulfills what he's supposed to do, he gets rewarded, which is the ravens feeding him and stuff like that. So boom. Then here come the what he was talking about in verse 7, where it tells us that it dries up. The land dries up because of the drought that the Lord told him would happen. So as he tells him that, he sends him to the next spot. He's like, "Hey, don't worry about this land. This land is gonna dry up. This land gonna dry up. You can go here to this spot. I mean, where you can rest up. You can eat and have something to drink. But this is not your final destination. You're gonna have to continue moving, and once you continue moving, I'm gonna send you to this lady." Elijah didn't know that he was gonna send him to a lady that was in need, but the Lord knows. The Lord knows. He ain't paying. He didn't send Elijah to that lady for no reason. He ain't sent him to that lady for no reason, because from what I'm from what I'm getting is that he's sending him to be the witness, to be the light bearer. He wants her to be witness of the power of God, which which once we get my mama in the building, I figured you asleep. I figured you asleep. Which when that part dried up, he sent it to that lady. And in verse 10, well, verse 9, he says, "Arise, go to Zarephath, which belongs to Sidon, and dwell there. See, I have commanded a widow there to provide for you." So he doesn't know he doesn't know that he's sending him there to show her the power of which God has. This is not the reason why he's there. He To me, what I'm getting is that he sent. he set them there. Well, Elijah went there in the thoughts that, okay, this is another resting place. He didn't know that he was gonna go there and provide this miracle for this lady. So so now we get to the first miracle. The first the first miracle was that the widow didn't have no food, nothing. She was on bare bones. You know what I'm saying? Like nothing. She had nothing. And when I say what I refer to as, having that faith and knowing that the Lord is gonna provide a way for you, you know, this is this is what the lady did. She had faith that she had faith that if she brought Elijah this food, that her stuff would be abundant. And as it goes in, he asked the lady he asked the lady that was gathering the sticks. He called to her and said, please bring me little water in a cup that I may drink. And as she was going to get it, he called to her and said, please bring me a morsel of bread in your hand. So her so her response at her response, so she said, as the Lord your God lives, I do not have bread, only a handful of flour in a bin and a little oil in a jar. And see, I'm gathering a couple sticks that I may go and prepare it for myself and my son, that we may eat and die. So so Elijah responds to her. He said to her, do not fear, and go do as I have said, but make a small cake from it first and bring it to me, and afterwards some make some for yourself and your son, for this says the Lord God of Israel. So he's letting her know, like, look, he's letting her know, like, look, you feed if when you feed me and you do what I'm telling you to do. This is not just from me saying this. I'm not just saying this. This is from what God is asking of you. Now, you can choose not to and make it for yourself, and you'll face the consequences after. But if you do what God is asking of you to do, then you will be rewarded. You will be rewarded. You will have an abundance, and because now you're pleasing you're pleasing God, and two, your job was to provide for me. This is not my will. This is God's will. God God said to me that you will be my provider. That you would make sure I'm good. So if you making sure I'm good, and I'm here from God, you're making sure God is good. And when we see when we look down, when we look down, it tells us her what her reward would be for being obedient to God and doing what God has commanded her to do. It says, "For this the Lord gave um for this the Lord's for this says the Lord God of Israel, the bin of flour shall not be used up, nor shall the jar run run dry until the day the Lord sends rain on the earth." Okay, so he's letting her know, like, look, you do these things for the Lord. The Lord's gonna he's gonna take care of you. He's gonna make sure that that little bin of flour that you was complaining that you only had enough to make one slice of bread to feed you and your son, and that y'all was gonna die off. You won't that joint will never run. That joint will never be empty. You will have flour for as long as you need until rain comes and waters these crops and stuff starts growing back for you. Then and he says that little thing of oil that you was complaining about that you ain't have enough. Trust me, that jar it's never gonna run dry. And then when we look at when we go down, we keep going down and we go down and we read 16 16. She does 15. So she went away and did according to the word Elijah and and she did what Elijah had commanded her to do, well, what the Lord commanded her to do, and it says in 15, she and he and her household ate for many days. Then 16, the bin of flour was not used up, nor did the jar of oil run dry, according to the word of the Lord. See, the word of the Lord, not the word of Elijah, the word of the Lord, which Elijah spoke. So that was the first miracle. Um that was the first miracle that Elijah did for this lady to make her witness, like, look, the Lord is real. This is not just me speaking. It's not just me coming out of nowhere and being like, hey, I'm gonna show you a magic trick. No, this is what the Lord has spoke to me, and this is what he needs you to do. He needs you to follow these instructions so that we both are pleasing to the Lord. Then here comes here comes another here comes a trial. So I refer to trials and tribulations. You know, I talked about this. And with trials, you can have it could be easy trials, it could be hard trials, but you it will be tested, you know. You'll be tested. So she has a trial. Her son becomes sick. And and in this Elijah speaks to the Lord to bring back I'm on live. You ain't got no clothes on. So I'll be all on my camera. Um bring back the son. So now in 17 he has another miracle that he's ready to do to her so that she can bear witness so that she can fully accept that God is amongst them, and he's using this person to he's using Elijah to how can I say this? Dang, I'm drawing a blank on how I want to say this. I'm drawing a blank. He's using Elijah as a vessel. That's what it is. He's using Elijah as a vessel. Okay, the Lord is using Elijah as a vessel. Okay, so boom. So as the son and the woman are in the house, the son becomes sick. It says it in 17. The house became sick, and the sickness was so serious that it took the life of the son. And then she asked Elijah. She said to Elijah, what have I to do with you, O man of God? Have you come to me to bring my sin to remembrance and to kill my son? So let's 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 break that down for a second. First Kings uh verse 18. No, 17 verse 18. Okay. So when we when she's asking this, the key thing is remembrance, right? So anytime we're talking about remembrance, that's a past event, right? Remembering something is a past event. That's something that happened before the time that you're in now. So anytime I'm remembering something and I'm going back to remember something, that's maybe past experiences, past um things that I used to do before now. So when she's asking Elijah, when she's asking Elijah, have you come to me have you come to me to bring my sin to remembrance? She's asking him, are you did you come to the stuff that I used to do in the past, are you bringing that back, and this is why you took my son? Was is this because of me not believing before that my son was taken, me having living in inequities. Is this me living in inequities in the past? Is this coming to the forefront now because of what I used to do in the past? This is why you took my son. So she's trying to make sense of why, her son fell on a sickness and was taken away from her. Like I said, Elijah didn't know that he was going to be used in this kind of way. The Lord did. The Lord knew that he was going to use him like this, but he didn't know that. And she didn't know why her son, fell on sick times and passed away when I did what you asked me to do. Is this my consequence now? Like I did what you asked me to do. You asked me, you said the Lord wanted me to provide for you and 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 feed you, and that, with that we should be good. But this is one of this is a trial that she has to go through, though, so that she can like I said, when we look at trials, hold on. Let me read trials for you, so that y'all understand what I mean by this is a trial. Oh crap. Did I know I ain't take it off of here. Trials. Sorry. We gonna just go ahead and look it up again. Trials. So yeah, there you go. Bow. Thank you, Theo. Test of faith. Yes, yes, sir. So trials refer to tests and hardships that are intended to strengthen the faith. There you go. What Theo put up there, test of faith. It's supposed to strengthen the faith and character. They are seen as purposeful, not accidental, and are opportunities to grow spiritually. Prove one's faith and glorify God rather than being a sign of abandonment. Trials are often described as a form of discipline from God to help believers grow in holiness and perseverance, according to sources. So so she's going through this trial so that one, when Elijah does what he does, she can grow spiritually. She can strengthen her faith. She can strengthen her faith, and she can grow spiritually. And then once that happens, she'll fully glorify God and what and who God is. Um this is not by accident. This is not by accident. This Elijah being sent to this lady was not by accident. Like I said before, she was supposed to he was supposed to be there for a reason. And when I said what I'm referring to as not accidental, not that opportunities to grow spiritually, prove one's faith, and glorify God. When when I say this, when we go down in the text, right? She she asked him, "Is this my past sins coming back up? This the reason why my son was taken." And verse 19, and he said to her, "Give me your son." So he took him out her arms and carried him to the upper room where he was staying and laid him on his own bed. Then he cried out to the Lord and said, "O Lord, my God, have you also brought tragedy on the widow with whom I lodged by killing her son?" Um, and he stretched himself out on the child 3 times and cried out to the Lord and said, "O Lord, I pray, let this child's soul come back to him." Then the Lord heard the voice of Elijah. So he hears Elijah pleading. He hears Elijah pleading. So the soul of the child came back to him and he revived. And Elijah took the child and brought him down from the upper room in the house and gave him to his mother. And Elijah said, "See, your son lives." All right, so this is the part I was talking about with strengthening the faith. Then the woman said to Elijah, "Now by this I know that you are a man of God, and that the word of the Lord in your mouth is true." Okay? So with this miracle, he helped her grow spiritually. He strengthened her faith within God, and reassured her that yes, this is this is nothing but God's doing. So now she's glorifying him. Okay? She's glorifying him. So when with this 17 is is it's deep. That joy deep, bruh. Like like Buddy Buddy could have just left like, dang, I didn't know this was gonna happen. My condolences, you know what I'm saying? Like he could have just like, man, I didn't know this was gonna happen. You know, he didn't give up. What he did was he went, he prayed to the Lord, he asked the Lord, I know you ain't just sent me here to do this just so that you can take this woman child away from. But the Lord like, nah, bro, that's not what I sent you there for. I sent you there to be a vessel. I sent you there to be a vessel. I knew this was gonna happen. This probably was gonna happen whether he went there or not. But he needed him to go there to show this widow, like, look, the Lord is real. That's how I'm taking it. You know, don't crucify me, but this is how I'm taking it. Because nothing the Lord does is just, you know how they say the Lord moves in mysterious ways. Like, nah, everything that the Lord does is calculated. he knew that this widow was gonna need that, and I believe he sent Elijah there for that reason. But I got from 17. You know, I'm not I'm not no scholar, nothing like that, but this is just what I got from it. I remember this story now. My mom read it to me as a kid, but now I understand it more. Yeah, I look, bruh. Like I know, elaborating on certain things. People gonna get a better understanding. But we gotta remember too, that this is just me going through it. We wanna read this stuff also for ourselves, so that we can all get a better understanding. Because one thing I'm getting one thing I'm getting out of this story is that as long as we stick to what God is telling us to do, we'll be all right. As long as we're not just doing whatever we want to do, we're actually listening to what the Lord is telling us, and actually moving in the way of the Lord. Everything is gonna be all right. We have times where we may face something in life, and the first thing that because we're humans, the first thing that we want to do is try to fix it. We think we're Bob the Builder, that we can fix anything that comes to us. And then when we fall on hard times, and we fall on our tails, we the first thing we do is start to cry for the Lord. you know but had we not did that on our own from the beginning, had we called on the Lord from the beginning, once we started going through these trials, you know a lot of things would be much better for us. But don't touch that. But we take it into our own hands and do stuff on our own, which causes us a lot more hard times than anything. But what I exactly exactly we are our own blessing blockers. Exactly, mom. My mother put, don't block your blessings. We're our own blessing blockers by not understanding what it is we're being tested on, by not letting the Lord use us how he's supposed to. You know what I'm saying? Exactly. Reacting instead of being proactive with God. Exactly. Exactly, Theo. That's both of y'all are on point with that. Both of y'all are on point with that. Exactly. That's what you know our downfall is. But as long as we read this book, and as long as we understand that, look, none of these people in here was perfect. A lot of these people in here had good times, they had bad times. They had times where their faith was being tested, and what happened when they didn't pass their trials, and they had to face certain things. We see all that. Just like the people when the people that was with Moses, and he told them, look, I got all this land for y'all out here. This gonna be y'all new spot. But they looked at what it had. It had stuff that they never seen before, giants, and they like, what? You want us to go in there? That joint don't look right. Well, all right. Well, since you don't want to go in there, and I'm telling you, that mean I'm here. I got you. This is gonna be y'all spot. Well, since y'all want to be hard headed, well, then y'all just gonna keep wandering until all y'all fall off, and then now when y'all gone, I'm gonna give it to y'all kids, and then y'all kids can have it. You see what I'm saying? So let's not block. Let's not like my mama said. Let's not block our blessings. Like Theo said, let's be more proactive with God instead of being reactive to the situation that's happening. Because had Elijah had Elijah been reactive, if Elijah down if Elijah had been reactive and seen no, if Elijah been reactive and have seen that the kid passed away and was just like, oh my gosh, and ran out, then that child would have just been gone. Wouldn't have been able to come back. All right, so let's go. Let's go ahead and get into 18. Let's go ahead and get into 18. That's our last chapter, and then we gonna get ready for tomorrow. Get ready for 19 and 19 and 20. All right, 18. So, and it came to pass after many days that the Lord that the word of the Lord came to Elijah in the third year, saying, go present yourself to Ahab, and I will send rain on the earth. So now it's been 3 years. It's been 3 years. So this lady had food and oil to cook with for 3 years. That's wild. That's wild. That's wild work right there. That's wild work right there. That it's it came, and it came to pass after many days that the word of the Lord came to Elijah in the third year, saying, go present yourself to Ahab, and I will send rain on the earth. That's what we was going through in 17. Remember he said, he told he told her, like, look, you'll have this until the Lord says rain on the earth. So 3 years. That's wild work. So Elijah went to present himself to Ahab, and there was a severe famine in Samaria. And Ahab had called Obadiah, who was in charge of his house. Now Obadiah feared the Lord greatly, for it was while Jezebel massacred the prophets of the Lord that Obadiah had taken 100 prophets and and uh hidden them 52 hidden them 52 a cave, and had fed them with bread and water. And Ahab said to Obadiah, "Go into the land to all the springs of water and to all the and to all the brooks. Perhaps we may feed grass to keep the horses and mules alive, so that we will not have to kill any livestock." So they my fault. Let me go down. Let me go down. We in 6. So they divided the land between them to explore it. Put it down, Cinnamon. To explore it. Ahab went one way by himself, and Obadiah went the other way by himself. Now, as Obadiah was on his way, suddenly Elijah met him, and he recognized him, and fell on his face and said, "Is that you, my lord Elijah?" And he answered, "It is. It is I. Go tell your master Elijah is here." So he said, how have I sinned that you are delivering your servant into the hand of Ahab to kill me? 10. As the Lord as the Lord your God lives, there is no nation or king where my master has sent someone to hunt for you. And when they said he is not here, he took an oath from the kingdom or nation that they could not find you. Now I say to you, go and tell your master Elijah is here. So so Elijah said Elijah's coming back. He said that he would come back. He would come back and what's that, 17? There shall not be no dew nor rain these years except at my word. So he's he's going back to where he's coming from. Where was that drought? They're having a famine. You know, they're trying to make sure they're trying to provide reserve the livestock that they have so they don't have to kill any in order for them to have food. Um, when Ahab gets his eyes on Elijah and sees Elijah, he asks him, "Is that him?" So Elijah is sending him to his master, whoever I guess is in charge of that land. This is what I'm taking it as. He sent him to whoever's in charge of that land, and Ahab, and he's scared. He's scared. He thinks that he's gonna die, but Elijah is telling him like, "Look, bruh, like I don't know no messenger that's ever been that's ever died from delivering a message. I don't know no messenger that is that important that they they're hunting him. They're focused on killing him. Like, bro, you're straight. You're coming. You're sent. You're being sent from God. Is not. I'm not sending you. The Lord is sending you to go deliver this message. The same way. The same way. Yeah, man. He told the lady. He told that lady to do what she needed to do. Is the same way he's telling him. Like, look, bro, go do this, bro. Go. Let them know that I'm here, bro. Let them let them know a real one's in town. You alright, bro? They ain't gonna hurt you, bro. Ain't nobody looking for you. Ain't nobody looking for you, dog. Relax. Don't let them know that I'm here. He flexing right now. Let's go verse 12. That's funny. bro started flexing. Hey, bro, let them know I'm back in town, bro. A real one here. Oh man, that's funny. Bro, I was like, bro, you gonna send me to the people that's fit to kill me, bro? Like, bro, ain't nobody fit to kill you, bro. You alright? Relax yourself. And it shall come to pass as soon as I'm gone from you that the spirit of the Lord will carry you to a place I do not know. So when I go and tell Ahab and he cannot find you, he will kill me. But I your servant had feared the Lord from my youth. Was it was it not reported to my Lord that Was it not reported to my Lord what I did when Jezebel killed the prophets of the Lord? How I hired 100 men of the Lord's prophets, 50 to a cave, and fed them with bread and water. But he's still asking questions like, "Hey, bro, go what I told you to do, bro. Oh, look." And now you say, "Go tell your master Elijah is here. He will kill me." he he like, bruh. He like, bruh, I done hid these people. I done put these people up. Jezebel said she was going to kill all those prophets and stuff. I hit them and put them up, you know, and and when I go tell him what you said, and then he can't find you, he gonna look at me some type of way. He gonna off me. Let's hear what Elijah got to say. 15. Then Elijah said, as a as the Lord's host lives, before whom I stand, I surely present myself to him today. So he like, man, look, man, ain't nobody running from no smoke, bruh. ain't nobody run, ain't nobody running from no smoke, man. Go tell him I'm here, bruh. I'm gonna be right here waiting for him, bruh. So Obadiah went to meet Ahab and told him, and Ahab went to meet Elijah. Then it happened when Ahab saw Elijah that Ahab said to him, "Is that you, O troubler of Israel?" And he answered, I have not troubled Israel, but you and your father's house have in that you have forsaken the commandments of the Lord and have followed followed the Dang, how you pronounce that? How you pronounce that? I don't want to butcher this word. You follow the devil. Baal. 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 All right. Baal. Nah, for real. Nah, nah, for real. You try to crash him out, bruh. uh, Baal. Well, hold up, Joe. Yeah, so he trying to put something on he trying to throw smut on old Elijah name, bro. Talking about some he a troubler. Like bruh, how am I how am I how am I a troubler of Israel when all I did was give the word to y'all that was passed down from the father. The father told me to tell y'all like, look, y'all gonna go through a drought because y'all want to follow um a man-made God. Y'all want to follow a man-made God and don't want to follow the real God. And then when he puts y'all through this drought and tells y'all ain't ready to have no water for for until he sent me back here. Now I'm the troubler. I'm the reason why. You know what I mean? This is happening. This it ain't happened because of me. I didn't snap my fingers and say, "Look, y'all just not gonna have no water till I get back." Nah, this is what the Lord telling me. The Lord told me this was gonna happen to y'all because y'all not following Him. Y'all want to follow the man-made God that y'all made up. Let's say, troubler, and he answered, I have not troubled. I have not troubled Israel, but you and your father's house have, in that you have forsaken the commandments of the Lord and have followed the Baals. Now therefore send and gather all Israel to me and Mount Carmel, the 450 prophets of Baal, and the 400 prophets of Ashariah. There we go. Who eat at Jezebel's table. So Ahab sent for all the children of Israel and gathered the prophets together on Mount Carmel. And Elijah came to all the people and said, you how long will you falter between two opinions? If the Lord is God, follow Him. But if Baal follow Him, But the people answered him not a word. People answered him not a word. Then Elijah said to the people, I alone am left I alone am left a prophet of the Lord, but Baal's prophets are 450 men. Therefore let therefore let them give us 2 bulls, and let them choose 1 bull for themselves, cut it in pieces and lay it on the wood, but put no fire under it. And I will prepare the other bull and lay it on the wood, but put no fire under it. So never mind. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. All right. Uh, let's keep going. Then you call on the name of your gods, and I will call on the name of the Lord, and the God who answers by fire, He is God. So all the people answered and said, "It is well spoken." So boom. So boom. Elijah, Elijah, he like he like okay. So look, this what we gonna do. This what we gonna do. Since y'all believe that y'all God is who He is, and I know who my God is. Let's put this to the test. Let's try this. Let's try this test. Now, if y'all God is who y'all say it is, when you put this bull on this dry wood and you call on your God, something should happen. Something should happen. But if I put mines on here and I call on my God, then something should happen. So we gonna test the power of your God. We gonna test the power of my God. Boy, hey, that's some cold work right there, bruh. That's some cold work right there. Because we know what's ready to happen. We know what's ready to happen. We ain't even gotta keep reading. We know what's ready to happen. That's wild work right there. But see, this is this is what this is what we gotta this is what we gotta how we gotta explain to people. Right? Because we're doing as as we do the Lord's work, we're gonna run across people who believe in other things. We're gonna run a Oh my gosh, my fault, bruh. My child just threw me off. She came in here with her finger all the way in her brain just now. But as we doing the Lord's work, we gotta explain to him like, look, bruh, like when I call on my Lord, bruh, like stuff get to shaking, bruh. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what Lord you following. I don't know what God you're following. But when I solely put my faith in my God and believe 100% in my God, bruh, stuff get to shaking. You know, and that's what like a lot of our testimonies come from to back what we're saying. Like, look, I came from this. I started doing this in the Lord's name. I started putting my life in the Lord's hands and doing these things for the Lord. And stuff started moving for me in the right way. Now, y'all may believe in what y'all believe in, and maybe the reason why y'all getting the stuff that you're getting, but have you tried doing it like this? You know, and this is kind of like what Elijah is getting to these people at, trying to get these people to understand, like, look, y'all believe in this man-made God that y'all set up. Y'all believe in this in this in this God, but I know that the Lord is moving in me. So we're gonna test this. We're gonna test this theory. We're gonna see which one performs and which one don't perform. It is well spoken. Now Elijah said to the prophets of Baal, choose one bull for yourselves and prepare first, for you are many, and call on the name of your God, but put no fire under it. So he's telling them, like, look, if it's only me, it's only me. I'm here solo dolo. But it's 400 something y'all. I think if it's 400 and something of y'all, when y'all start saying what y'all saying, and y'all start talking to y'all God, something should shake, right? Y'all, we should get some type of answer, right? We should get some type of answer. So they took the bull which was given to them, and they prepared it, and called on the name of Baal from morning to evening till noon, saying, "O Baal, hear us." But there was no voice, no one answered. Then they leaped about the altar, which they had made, and so it was at noon that Elijah mocked them and said, cry aloud, for he is a God." For he is a God. Either he is meditating, or he is busy, or he is on a journey, or perhaps he is asleep and must be awakened. so 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 they're doing all this stuff. They doing the rain dance. They're doing the rain dance. They singing. They yelling. They're doing all this stuff, to the point that Elijah started to mock them and laugh at them, and show them how ridiculous they look. And then not only did he do that, he told them, like, "Hey, bro, your God must be asleep or something, bro. Y'all gotta wake him up, or maybe he on a journey or something. Maybe he walked to go do something, or maybe he busy. Maybe he busy at the moment." Like, bro, he like, bro, that boy must be praying. Yo talk yo talking big trash. Yo talking some big stuff. Yeah, I mean, but he's showing them, he what he's doing is that he's showing them, like, look, your God's not real. Your God's not real. Y'all doing all this from morning to night to evening to the next day. Y'all dancing, y'all parading, y'all doing all this stuff, and your God can't even set a fire for y'all. Dang, that's how your God treats you, bruh. And it's 400 of y'all. That's wild work. So they cried aloud and cut themselves. They cried aloud and cut themselves as they were accustomed with knives and lances until the blood gushed out of them. And when midday was past, they prophesied until the time of the off until the time of the offering of the evening sacrifice. But there was no voice, no answer, and no one paid attention. Then Elijah said to all the people, come near to me. So all the people came near to him, and he repaired the altar of the Lord that was broken down. And Elijah took 12 stones according to the number of the tribes of sons of Jacob, to whom the word of the Lord had come, saying, Israel shall be your name. Then with the stones he built an altar in the name of which the Lord in the name of the Lord, and he made a trench around the altar large enough to hold two seas of wheat. And in under he put a wood in order to cut the bull in pieces, and laid it on the wood, and said, fill 4 water pots with water, and pour it and pour it on the burnt sacrifice and on the wood. Then he said, do it a second time. And they did it a second time. And he said, do it a third time. And they did it a third time. So the water ran all around the altar. And he also filled the trench with water. And it came to pass at the time of the offering of the evening sacrifice that Elijah the prophet came near and said, Lord God of Abraham, Isaac, and Israel, let it be known this day that you are God in Israel, and I am your servant, and that I have done all these things at your word. Hear me, O Lord, hear me, that these people may know that you are the Lord God, and that you have turned their hearts back to you again. Then the fire of the Lord fell and consumed the burnt sacrifice, and the wood and the stones and the dust, and it licked up the water that was in the trench. So so he had these people he had these people pour all this water down. Not only that he had these people pour all this water down. Mind you, they're in uh a famine state. they're they're in a famine state. There's a drought going on, and they used all this water and poured all this water down. Not only on the sacrifice, they poured it on the wood. Have you ever tried to light wet wood? Bruh, you cannot set fire to wet wood. It's impossible. It would never take. The fire would never take. Then on top of that, all them seeds that was filled, the trench that was filled with water had seeds in it. Bruh, bro, it ain't take 3 days to answer. He ain't had to do no magical dance. He ain't had to do none of that. All he did was speak some words. All he did was speak some words. That's it. And fire fell and consumed the burnt sacrifice and the wood and the stones and the dust and licked up the water that was in the trench. Man say, man say, that's that's what we call that's what we call. I mean, uh, an answer. That's what that's what we call an answer. How long did they? How long did these people? It said at noon. No, 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 no. Boom, 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 boom. It said morning, evening till noon. Morning, evening till noon. They danced around, they yelled and did all that good stuff. They they called on their God, got no answer. It wasn't it wasn't till Elijah got up there and did what he did that an answer came. If that ain't an eye opener, I don't know what is. Now when all the people saw it, they fell on their faces and they said the Lord he is God. The Lord he is God. And Elijah said to them, seize all the prophets of Baal. Do not let one of them escape. So they seized all of them. And Elijah brought them down to the brook of Kishon, and executed them there. Bang! Off with their head. Yo, body them. That's crazy. I said, he said, nah, y'all wanna believe in that? Y'all wanna believe in that? Y'all wanna believe in this? Alright, don't worry, we gonna offer y'all. He gonna off y'all. He straight execute them. That's wild work. Then Elijah said to Ahab, go up, eat and drink, for there is a sound of abundance of rain. So Ahab went up to eat and drink, and Elijah went up to the top of Carmel. Then he bowed down on the grass and put his face between his knees, and said to his servants, go up now, look toward the sea. So he went up and looked and said, there is nothing. And 7 times he said, go again. Then it came to pass the seventh time that he said, there is a cloud as small as a man's hand rising out of the sea. So he said, go up, say to Ahab, prepare your chariot, and go down before the rain stops you. Now it happened. Oh snap, my fault. Dang. We in 45. I was just reading. Oh man. Now it happened in the meantime that the sky became black with clouds and wind, and there was a heavy rain. So Ahab rode away and went to uh Jezreel, went to Jezreel. Then the hand of the Lord came upon Elijah, and he girded up his loins and ran ahead of Ahab to the entrance of Jezreel. All right, so that's that's chapter 18. Whew, Jesus, 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 Jesus. Mm, mm, mm. Lord ain't nothing to be played with. That's all I can say on that. Lord ain't nothing to be played with, bruh. He showed them, like when we look at my uncle said this, right? He said he said you look at all the other so-called gods out here, you know, and this ain't to bash nobody's religion or nothing like that. But you look at all those, you know, gods and other gods out here, and you look at what they have done. None of them gods can compare to what God has really done. None of them have done any of the things that this book refers to. Don't you find it funny that you know you got all these different religions, and they all have their special gods and stuff. But then when stuff gets hard and they start to drift towards this book, like I done seen people, bruh, who quote unquote say they don't believe in God and don't believe in this book, but then when stuff start happening, they be like Jesus. The first thing they do is be like Jesus, God. Like obviously this book is you know what it is. Obviously, this book it holds something in it, because one, none of none of them, yeah, none of them died and rose. Exactly. Nah, my mother right. None of them died and came back. I don't see nobody just being like just dry being like, yeah, in the name of Buddha, in the name of Muhammad, let this happen. This happened for me. Like, and I ain't trying to bash nobody's. Like I said, I ain't trying to bash nobody's religion. But one thing I can say is that when you start calling on Jesus' name and you start putting your troubles in God's hands and Jesus' hands, and you start praying, real stuff start happening. Stuff start happening. I ain't gonna. I can't cap on that. I can't sugarcoat that. That's just what it is, man. It's been times that, like I said, I refer to myself a lot in these times, because when I start speaking to the Lord and doing and saying stuff to Him, and how I want things to change in my life and stuff like that, stuff starts changing. Stuff starts changing. It may not be right away like that, but I notice a change. I notice a change in my thinking. I notice a change in the way I'm moving. I notice a change around me. Like, I noticed the change. This book, bruh, this book is different. This book is different. And it's crazy how Elijah went up there and he gave them the option. He told them from the beginning, like, look, bruh, y'all not gonna the Lord told me that y'all not gonna get no water until I speak it. We look back, in the first we look back in the first verse of 17, chapter 17. And Elijah the Tishbite, of the inhabitants of Galilee, I cannot pronounce that word, said to Ahab, as the Lord, as the Lord God of Israel lives. He's letting them know, as the Lord God of Israel lives, before whom I stand. So he's letting them know that, look, God sent me here to give y'all this message. He's telling me to let y'all know, to give y'all a heads up, that there shall not be dew nor rain these years, except at my word. Except at my word. And what happens? After he shows them that God is real, after he shows them that God is real, and you know, God is the only person that y'all need to be worried about. Not this other fake God that y'all been trying to praise and do all this stuff for, and all that bull crap that y'all doing, rain dances and all that stuff. He goes. He said to the he's hold on. Hey, Drake. And then Elijah went to the top of Carmel. Then then he bowed down on the ground and put his face between his knees. So after he did that, after he did what he was supposed to do, he went up there. He submitted himself to the Lord. He showed the Lord that he was humble and had humility and obedient, and said to his servant, go up, look toward the sea. So he went up and looked towards the sea and said, there is nothing. And and 7 times he said, go ahead, go again. Then it came to pass the seventh time he said, there's a cloud as small as a man's hand rising out of the sea. So he said, go up, say to Ahab, prepare your chariot and go down before the rain stops you. Prophecy completed. So it took him to let them know, like, look, the rain gonna come. The rain gonna come. I gotta get the rain. But that just shows the power of actually believing in the Lord, actually doing what the Lord asks you to do, having that faith in the Lord. Man, this is crazy. I'm glad I chose Elijah. I started to do Job. I ain't even gonna cap. I started to do Job, but but Elijah came to my brain, and it was stuck. It was stuck there. Elijah was stuck there. So I was like, no, we gonna do Elijah, and I'm glad I did. I'm glad I did. You gotta have a certain amount of faith to know that you're going through a drought and going through famine, to dump out water that y'all don't have. 3 barrels, 3 barrels of water. You gotta have faith beyond belief, bruh. Like, your faith gotta be so strong, bruh, to do that. That's that's amazing. I can't wait to get to these other chapters though. I can't wait to get to these other chapters because I know it's gonna get better. Then he executed them people, bruh. He said, "Look," bro said, "Look, bruh." Bro said, "Look, y'all. Oh, so y'all still won't believe in him? All right, cool. Well, we just gonna get y'all up out of here." That ain't the only time that happened either. That ain't the only time that happened. Who? Excuse me. Who was it? Saul. Saul. Went it off some people too. He ain't complete the job like Elijah did or like David did. But he did had to off some people too. The Lord sent him to do that. Man, man, this gonna be a good book. This gonna be I can tell just by reading those first 2 chapters. Elijah performed 3 miracles in 2 chapters. That's wild. That's wild work. That's wild work right there. But that's it for today. We got 19. Excuse me. We got 19 and 20. We got 19 and 20 that we're gonna go over uh next. So y'all be back here tomorrow. Um Tomorrow might be a little earlier. Nah, Lord willing. I think my wife gotta go to work tomorrow, so might be the same time. Might be the same time. So y'all just look out. Y'all look out for that. We gonna do that tomorrow though. We're definitely gonna do that tomorrow around the same time. So yeah. Shouts out to my brother Theo for coming in here kicking it. Shouts out to my mamas. Everybody else who came in and just was listening. Shouts out to y'all. I'll catch y'all on the next one. Y'all have a nice night. Get some rest.